Many in Africa find it very difficult to associate horses with Africa. This tendency is true across much of the world. Yet horses have also been used extensively in war, in ceremonial fashion, or as working or riding animals in many African countries, even well south of the Sahara. Furthermore, there's a fascinating and little written about history of horse trading, translocation, and breeding that's intertwined with the history of many African peoples. Here are some of the breeds or strains that exist across Africa. Abyssinian or Ethiopian horses are breeds or horses found in Ethiopia, formerly known as Abyssinia. There are about 2.8 million horses in Ethiopia, more than half of the total in the African continent. By early 2010, the horses of Ethiopia were characterized in 8 distinct breed types with different regional distributions, including a gravely endangered feral population, the Kundudo horse. Mostly found in the northern part of Ethiopia, particularly in the Simien Mountains in the area of Gondar in the Amhara region. The Abyssinian horse is poorly conformed, sway-backed, and heavy in the belly. It is much used in agricultural work. The other breeds found in Ethiopia are Bale, Borana, Horo, Kafa, Kundudo, Ogaden, and Selale or Oromo. Basutoland pony or Basutu pony is a small, thick-set, hardy horse associated with Lesotho, formerly known as Basutoland. It has exceptionally hard hooves, relatively short legs, and a longish back. These features are all related to its sure-footedness on rough, rocky terrain, and this characteristic is what made the Basutu horse popular and reliable and used extensively during the Boer War. The Basutu seems to have originated as a cross between Arab, Persian, and thoroughbred horses during the middle of the 17th century and have been brought to southern Africa by the Dutch. It seems to be the same animal that was originally called the Cape horse. It should also be noted that southern Africa is home to the South African miniature, a light, draft-riding horse less than 90 centimeters tall at the withers. The origins and history of miniature horses is confusing, in part because people have crossed small individuals of many breeds to create small stature animals. In cases, they have therefore created hybrids that exhibit features of several larger horse breeds. Indeed, the South African miniature comes in forms that are essentially miniature Arabs as well as miniature draft horses. Various other horse breeds are associated with South Africa. Incidentally, there's also a Madagascar pony. The Barb is a breed that is known for its stamina and overall hardiness. These horses have a temperament that can only be described as fiery. Despite it being a light riding horse, it gallops like a sprinting horse, which has caused it to be infused into today's racing breeds, like the thoroughbred. The history of the Barb breed is believed to date back to the year 900, when the region saw high levels of conflict. The modern Barb is divided into specific varieties depending on its genetics, as many were bred with Asian horses to create specific attributes and traits. Most Barbs today are found in Morocco. Adding to the complexity of the horse story in West and Central Africa is the idea that the horses of this region derived from North Africa, Barb-type animals, lived feral for a while and became dwarfed as a consequence of natural selection. They evolved partial resistance to many sicknesses and became more adaptable, as goes dietary requirements and feeding behavior. A surprising amount has been written about these horses, and several authors have implied or argued that they should be regarded as a distinct race, quite distinct from the Oriental, Barb, and Dongola horses. They really can be small, with shoulder heights of 90 to 110 centimeters in cases. Linguistic data, rock art, and historical accounts indicate that these animals have been in West Africa for some considerable time, perhaps for over 1,000 years or more. In fact, it's obvious that the importance of ponies in West Africa has been seriously underestimated, because the process of replacement by the larger and more prestigious horses brought across the desert was already advanced during the period when the first observers were writing. Horses have been and are far more abundant, more diverse, and more important in tropical Africa than the majority of us think. The Dongola horse is a riding breed indigenous to the African countries of Western Eritrea, Cameroon, and Sudan. The rare equines excelled as riding horses, but are also used for developing other breeds. The Dongola breed is believed to owe a lot to the Iberian horses that were brought to Egypt in the 13th century. Although this part of the Dongola's ancestry is beyond doubt, the rest is up for contention. Some believe that they were an offshoot of the Barb horse, while others think that the features of the Barb seen in Dongola horses today are simply a result of crossbreeding. Although the Dongola has a rather convex head, they also share many traits with the Arabian horse, including strength, endurance, and a spirited temperament. The breed's claim to fame is their popularity with the king of Senna in Sudan, who in 1772 obtained a number of Dongola horses, describing them as fine quality animals with the strength of coach horses, yet light and free in their actions. In the 19th century, during the Italian-Abyssinian War, the entire Ethiopian cavalry rode Dongola horses. This brought them international attention, and some were exported and used to improve local breeds in Ireland and Germany. Sadly, there are very few purebred Dongola horses in existence today, largely due to interbreeding with Arabian and Barb stock. The local preference for stallions has also resulted in a lack of quality broodmares. The Dongola has unusual conformation, a large head with a pronounced convex profile, a high, flat chest, a flat croup, a long back, and long, thin legs. The breed stands between 15 to 15.2 hands high and is typically a deep reddish bay, although chestnut and black are also seen. White leg and face markings are common. Dongola horses are energetic, spirited, intelligent, and courageous. Today, the Dongola is used as a riding horse. It is often ridden in festivals and ceremonies, beautifully presented in traditional costumes. An enigmatic group of feral, wild-living, desert-dwelling horses, the Namib desert horses. Genetic data shows that these are Afro-Turkic, Oriental horses with a distant affinity with the Arab, though they're genetically quite distant with a very low amount of variation. They probably descend from horses imported to the region for military purposes and don't have any direct link to Basotho ponies used by endemic people. There are some indications that Namib horses have evolved a few specializations for desert life over their short period of less than 100 years of living feral. since they're seemingly better at conserving water than other domestic horses. They're predated upon by spotted hyenas.